up, you want to select a new project. You can see there's a list of projects here, and the one you're looking for doesn't appear here yet, so you might have to just go ahead and scroll down to the bottom because you're going to create a soundtrack for a movie. So click on Movie. Might have to double click it. Okay, when it opens up, you want to give it a title, so call it Chase Music and then your name, and then go ahead and create it. Remember, you can just use your first name. Okay, here's how GarageBand looks. There's a movie track because you're creating soundtrack for a movie. So the first thing you're going to do is over here in this media browser that popped up, you want to look for the video you created. Now if you have a lot of videos here, you got to remember exactly the name, but if you've placed your video output from Final Cut Pro in the movies folder, all you have to do is find it, and here's mine here. So I'm going to click on it, drag it up to the movie track. It's going to take a few moments to convert it. It's going to create thumbnail pictures. These are the tiny pictures, represent the different images from the movie. And once that's done, you'll be able to start creating your own music. Okay, so here we go. Now, what you have up here is the movie track. And we happen to see me talking right now, but when we play this video, I'll just double click on this, or actually just click once. It brings the video up. I can either go down here and press this play button, or I can just press the space bar. And the movie starts playing. Now here's the thing, I really don't want to use the sound from the movie, so I can go up here and I can click, let's see, the mute button. And now when I play it, the sound is not there. Now, later on I'll show you how to adjust the sound level, so if you want to go ahead and mix it, a little bit of the natural sound in with what you create, you can do that. So let me just close this for a second. Now let's go back over here to the side that says Media Browser. Okay, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to select this eyeball here. It's going to change the view. I'm going to get what's called loops. Loops are just recordings of little bits of music, and you're going to get to use those to build your own song. So here's how I can do it. Let's say I want to have an urban style to the song. I click on urban, and now it eliminates the other types of jingles and loops and such that we've got. And I want to start with a basic rhythm, so I'll go ahead and choose beats. And let me see, I can preview a beat down here by clicking on it once. It starts playing. Let's see if there's another one I want. And another one. Okay, I'm going to start with this slower tempo one here. So I'm just going to click on it and drag it right underneath my movie soundtrack. This is going to create a new track of music underneath it. Go to edit mode. So I click down here to edit mode to give me a little bit more space. I'm going to close this loop section off to the side for a little bit just to give us a little more space. So now you can see I've got the video along here and I've got this beat, but the beat doesn't last that long. So when I play it, you'll see, and then it stops. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, bring the movie up so I can watch it a little bit better. I'm going to go ahead and I can, when I click next to the beat that I've selected, if I float over just the upper right hand corner, I can click and drag it out and make it last longer. So I can bring it out. But here's the thing I want to do. So you can see in the video, I've got a change up here. So I'm going to stop right here as I got a change in the scene, and I'll go ahead and eliminate that first one. And now I can go ahead and just copy this. So I've got it selected. I'll hold down the Command key and press the letter C, or I could have gone up to the Edit menu and chosen Copy. See, there's my keyboard shortcut, Command C. Okay, now I'm going to go up to the next part where I'm going to eliminate this scene here of my murderer. I'm going to go right up to where I see the victims right here again. So I'll go ahead and paste, and let's see how that plays. I want to make sure that the okay, and I'll bring it back. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay down a little bit of a beat, and let's Let's see if I can get this to... Oh, you know what? I can't shrink it down anymore. So what I have to do is split this. So let me go forward just a little bit and I'll show you I can split a beat off. And well, actually it just kind of runs out where I need. I'll show you the split function a little bit later. Okay, so let's go back, take a look at the loops. And I'm going to pick a little bit different tempo or different sound for the murderer here. So let's see if I can reset things. The idea is to play around, lay down a basic beat. In this case, I've got a couple of different tempos here. So let's see if I can get... That sounds a little ominous. I'm going to try this and drag it up here. So I'm going to put this into this gap right where I've got my murderer here, and I'll fill in the little space. And then let me just hide these loops here. And let me copy this. And I'll go up here where the murderer comes in again and paste it out. And let's see how far I want to bring that. And bring this back a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of changing it up. Now you probably don't have a scene as complex as this. You might just have a general slower paced tempo as your basic action happens. But let me go ahead and play through this, and you can see as things change up how it affects it. Okay, so a little bit, I don't know if it makes a lot of sense to you, but I'm going to go back over here to the loops. The idea is I'll reset this, go back to those urban loops where I chose, oops, clicked on the wrong one. We'll go to urban, I'll go to beats. Now I'm going to change the tempo up. I really want a faster one here. Let's see if I can go with some beats that are even better. I need, that was that weird one I got. Okay, I'm going to check the tempo here. Let me just stop the one I'm playing here. And I'm going to go down, look for a faster tempo. Any beats that have these arrows next to them are beats you don't have on your computer, and it might take a while to load it up. So if it comes in, you might have to check with me, the teacher, and see if it's the case. But let me just see if I've got any of these that I could use. It takes a while to go. Okay, so here we go. This one's a little bit faster, so let me try using this one in here. Now again, I'm going to go ahead. Let me close the video scene so you can see me drag it up. I'll bring this beat up to a new track. Remember, see, each time I'm adding a new track, I'm not putting them on the same track. I'm keeping these tracks separately. Let me close this out and take a look and play it for you. And maybe this is going to be the one I use for the basic pace of the video. And again, I can drag it out to last a little bit longer. And now, you can play around, you can add different instruments in to add things. So let's say we go ahead and we want to emphasize something. Let me go ahead and close this video window for a second. We'll go back in the timeline up here to the beginning. Let me try to find out. I've got this little thumbnail look too, so I can see. And maybe I want to add some emphasis here, so I'll go ahead and bring this out. So for emphasis, let me drag this down a little bit, make some space. I have a lot of things to choose from. I can change from this little musical note and go over here to show sound effects and such. This is called the podcast view, but now I can go into things called stingers. These are different effects. So I could go into there's so many different things in here. Let's see if I've... Okay, that sounds a little ominous there, so maybe I can go to, I'll go back up here to, and I'll bring this up here, and let me just see what this might look like. And back up a little bit. So I add a little bit of emphasis as he's going up there. Okay, let's say I'm looking for a particular type of sounds to emphasize the beats and such. So here I've got this murderer sitting there starting to kill. And I'll just kind of click forward a little bit. So maybe I go over here and now I'm on the sound effects tab. Remember, this is the music tab for all the different loops. Here's that sound effects tab. And I can go down here to the bottom and I'll just type in what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a scream. So I'll click that. And let's see if it pops up. Oh, I think I need to be in sound effects. And let me type it again. We'll go with scream. And there it is, a bunch of different screams. So I'll look and see. Okay, so maybe this first one I like it, so I'm just going to again bring it up. Let me close this up so I can show it to you better. So I'll bring the scream right to there. And I go back and look at this. Okay, so that gives you the idea. Let me just close this tab out here a little bit. I'll close this out. So you got to make sure that you have your music. You want to lay your beat down throughout the whole thing. Let's see, this beat here, probably want to use throughout to have most of the tempo. So I just drag this out throughout most of the film. Going to change the tempo up as we get towards the end. You can add those emphasis with different stingers and sound effects and such to give it. So just kind of develop your soundtrack so that you end with something that is going to give you something that emphasizes the film, supports it. And if you really want to, when you're done, you can go ahead and unmute this movie soundtrack and you can mix it in a little bit in the background. So as you play it, take a look at it here. Okay, so that's a little bit that's on there. There's a lot of more layers and stuff you can add in, so you want to really make that soundtrack great. And make sure as you work on your project you save it.